Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
This year, the adventure is calling louder than ever before. Craft your own magic at the Wicked Wand Workshop. Race for glory at the Ninja Warrior Challenge. Or battle for honor at the Viking Invasion. Plus, enjoy classic favorites like live armored combat jousting. Or slay your hunger with tasty turkey legs. The Minnesota Renaissance Festival is back with new adventures. Get your discounted tickets now at select Quick Trip, Walgreens, Cub Foods, and Menards locations. Or at RenaissanceFest.com. Huzzah!
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 56 and some patchy fog. Then Wednesday, sunshine with a high of 74. Don't miss your chance to set sail with Treasure Island this fall at Children's Theater Company. Join young Jim Hawkins and the infamous Long John Silver on an adventure packed with pirates, sword fights, live music, and heart-pounding action. Tickets are going fast. Get yours today at childrenstheater.org.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining me today. Probably more importantly, I should congratulate all of you for surviving the rapture today, because as we all know, that was supposed to happen today, according to the internet. So, I mean, that's just one of those things that, you just have to make sure that everybody is, prepared for, and that they're happy about, where they're going to go next if they kind of flew out of the universe or whatever else. Now, Joanne is saying, and maybe this is the rapture. Oh, she says it's up now. She's saying there was no sound, and I heard it. I heard everything. I don't know. And then she says it's up now. So thank goodness for that, because what we have to say is super important tonight. But I'll tell you, I've been having I use StreamYard for a lot of this, and right before the show starts, I will be talking to our guest, and then I'll be like, okay, we're just going to finish some stuff up here, and we are going to, get ready for the show. And just as I did that, I might have been, I was like touching some stuff, and everything got really small. Like a little postage size stamp. And it's just like, oh my goodness, what on earth? And I couldn't get it to change. And it's like, is this just because I don't know? I don't know what's happening or what? And I finally got it all figured out. I tell you, when you do this stuff at home, sometimes it just doesn't quite
work the way it's supposed to. Just for example, Brett had told me that I have the wrong mic on, and now it should sound better. Dave, who's my guest tonight, should have told me it didn't sound good, but this is what happens when you have amateurs helping you out on the show, and you're an amateur yourself. So we have that going for us. So this is a good start. Luckily, it's on a night that Dave is with us, and we don't have to worry about people listening or watching. So we as well. Dave, I mean, come on, right? I mean,
yeah.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? And it doesn't help either because on my end, I'm going through a mixer, so everything sounds just as it should. And I think it's going to record just fine. But, you know, I mean, when you're a superstar radio personality like myself, you know, you just sometimes just so much stuff is happening at once, Dave. I don't even know what to say anymore. Is this my fault?
It's probably my fault.
Yeah,
everything electrical has been awful like all week. Every time I'm around Deb, so maybe it's rubbed off onto me, and now you're welcome. It's rubbing off on you.
So this is what we're going to do tonight. We're gonna. I mean, even though I like to have fun with Dave, it's actually a pretty serious conversation tonight that we're going to have. As you know, we have Refined Divine Deb on every other Wednesday, and she does one question reading. Sometimes we have her on a Tuesday talking about her experiences and stuff. But you know, I thought, you know, let's talk to Dave. We've had him on before. Dave, I think it's really important that we talk about Dave's journey, because Dave represents the rest of us. If you don't mind me saying so, Dave, I think that this is there's some truth to this. Right. This is where Dave is, like, for all of us who didn't, you know, that these gifts didn't just automatically show up, or that we didn't know our journey, that having somebody help with that is important. In this case, Dave had been working, working with, I guess, but also fell in love and married Deb, and just living with her and taking on, like, you at one point, you must have decided, I am completely in, and I'm going to either try to learn from her or pick up her gifts or anything like that. Is that kind of what happened, or you just start noticing over time that things were changing for you?
Right. Yeah. There was like my whole life, there was always something. I would just, you know, you ever walk into a room and you look at what's going on and you're like, there's got to be more to this. Like, then you're feeling more than what you don't feel like you're relating to the other people sometimes. And you're like, there's definitely more to this. I don't know, but this is not what meets the eye, you know, like, So when I met Deb, it was almost like a bomb going off in me, where it was like, okay, yeah, I've always been very cerebral. So, like, I was always debating and in my own head, just like wondering and this and that, all these things that she started teaching me. And I was just like, thank God it wasn't just me. This is something that I was feeling and knowing and understanding myself. And by going through a lot of the exercises with her, and she took me down deep for many years and still does at times, it really starts to help you, like, remember and know and understand that you're not crazy, basically, that you're not alone. Also, there's other people. We're all connected in one way or the other. So it was amazing how that went down.
I'm trying to remember the last time that you and I spoke on the show, and I don't think it's been quite as long as a year ago, but it's had to be about, at the very minimum, about 6 months ago, if not longer.
Yeah, probably.
Would you say that your abilities, psychic abilities, your gifts, how much do you think that they've improved since we've last had a serious conversation about this?
Since then, things have really been blown wide open. Like, I'm in that stage where it's like, you know, I'm not so much in between anymore. I'm now going into the other side more. Like, so, like, the last time I was on, I feel like I was just coming out of that fighting, that in between. Like, I don't want to go, you know, that fight, that inner fight. Like, I want to stay here and just enjoy this, and that it's not my fault, it's their fault, and pointing fingers, trying to fight that, but also going on to that side. So I think since then, I've now started to accept it fully. So therefore, as you accept it fully, things open up a lot more. And I've actually needed Deb's help a lot more lately, because when things open up more and you're a Dave, who's a very earthly being, you start to get anxiety. So I need Deb a lot lately, but she's helping me understand it.
When you say when you're going the other side, are you talking about the spirit side?
Yeah, like feeling everything more lately.
Sure, okay.
Like I'm getting a lot more goosebumpy, a lot more, that floaty feeling. Like it's like I'm riding that wave where I'm like, I can actually feel this right now. And she's really been helping me with that because I don't shut it off. Apparently there's a way to shut it off.
And you need to. Yeah. Yeah, no, so. It's really tough. And it's one of those things too that I think because I'm sure there's a lot of people out here who are going to resonate with what you're saying when you're talking about that you are feeling you're feeling things, you're probably feeling other people's emotions, you're probably feeling spirit emotion, you're probably feeling all this other stuff. And you just said that, I don't shut it off. For those who don't understand, like they have the gifts as well, but they're not really doing anything as far as controlling that either. Why is it so important to shut that stuff down for a little bit?
Because you can really take on everybody's emotion. Like what's theirs will now be yours. It's like because we're connected in that way. So, and I find that it happens to me a lot more with like younger people, like teenage years and stuff. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like I just relate to it more. I'm sure Debbie has that answer because she knows stuff like that very well. But for me, it's like if you don't shut it down, you can just walk into a room and really find yourself in a bad place, because if that guy's going through something, this lady's going through something, you might be happy one minute and sad the next and think you're bipolar, but it's actually just you feeling that room.
And that's something too, where I think people need to understand that energy is how powerful energy is. And you might be like, well, no kidding, we understand that. But I don't think everyone fully does, because if you're not, your gifts aren't developed, you're not feeling all that onslaught of energy going into a room, or even going into like the holistic fair, for example. I mean, it's all good energy, but it's still a lot of energy. You want to you want to make sure that it's not overwhelming anywhere you go, and you have to kind of ground yourself everywhere you go.
Yeah, a lot of that is staying inside of yourself. That's a lot of what she's teaching me lately. You have to really stay in yourself, like really, like stop looking on the exterior for everything. Just continue to be within, and it'll just come naturally, and you'll flow smoothly with those kind of waves. It's like you don't want to overexert your energy, because then all that energy is going to be open to come into you as well.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of have you run into really any kind of energy that is really really affected you hard?
Yeah, and the weird thing is, it's like I said, the teenage stuff. Like when teenage kids, when we're a teenage, we're going through that. We're going through a lot with life in general, or just teenage, And I remember what it was like for me when I was that age, but. So like, these are the feelings that I start to get. Like I'm back into okay, I'm 16 again. What's going on? And it's like, but I think it's because I unconditionally love, people that are younger, because I understand that they're not coming from a sour spot. So I still have those conditions on my life, which I'm learning to get away from. Because, if you have those conditions, then you kind of open yourself too much in some areas, and then other areas, and you're not open to any miracles that can happen in the other ones. So I think that's where I lack, where I don't shut that switch off when I'm talking to like a younger person. It's just like all of a sudden now I feel what they feel. And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to get caught. I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? Because these are things that kids go through, so.
I find, I'm going to say, and this is not a political party thing. I think that this is for a lot of people just across the board. I think current events, and not just current events recently, but current events for the past, number of years, I think that is having an effect on a lot of people. I know it's having an effect on me. It's having an effect on my mood. It's having an effect on how I think about things. And that's where, once again, If you're feeling that, you want to be able to find a way to close that down, because you're not helping the situation there. You're not helping the current events that are causing you to feel this way. It's having no effect on those. You got to be able to distance yourself, and I like what you said, that you retreat within yourself, because I always think about it as just kind of shutting the door, so to speak. So I mean, I don't know, in some ways it's a really good time to be able to understand energy, I think, a lot more, because there is so much of it just buzzing around, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like Deb explains it, like it's like a stream, it's like you don't need to add to that stream if it's already got a bunch of junk in it. The best thing you can do is like, just take it for what it is, be like, and then don't hold on to it. It's not yours. Like, don't grab it out of the stream and be like, I want this bad news, per se, like metaphorically, like it, just keep going about, like, thinking about, is this affecting me now? Is this something that I need to worry about? You know what I mean? Like, just go about your business. That things are still happening, but you don't need to add to that filth in that stream, is basically my point there. Like, you keep throwing onto the fire.
It's kind of like when you're thinking about somebody who you're mad with, that you don't really care for, and it's like what they call, you're giving them space. They're living rent free in your brain, and that's the same sort of thing, where you don't want to, you want to be able to close all that out, because like you just said, and like I said, you got to take care of yourself, really, at the end of the day. And it's so easy. I think it's so much easier to at least at the front, to complain or take in all that energy as well. But then as time goes on, it's going to be much easier, because that's just what you do.
Yeah, it seems like us as humans too. It's human nature. Like, that's how we've been taught by society to relate with each other. The water cooler talk, like, oh my gosh, you hear what the president said, things like that. And it's like, it doesn't need to happen like that. You can go inside yourself, like Deb always says, and choose what you want to be involved with. And that's why people get those, what do you call them, nooner blues, when you work. And then all of a sudden at noon, you just feel sluggish and you got nothing left, because you've given all that energy away to others on stuff that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is what I would like to do. I'd like us to take a little break here. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Dave Woodruff. He is the husband to Refined Divine Deb, and we're talking about his spiritual journey. Stick around. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information. If you are watching me on Facebook, GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun, please consider sending some stars my way. Stars is, people are like, oh, so you can make some money. It's like, well, actually, no, really what the stars primarily do is that it really helps get GhostBox Radio into better algorithms so that more people can see what we're doing here. And I know that myself and other people, and possibly you, I hope, feels like that this is a show that is well worth sharing out to a lot of people, get a lot of people involved. I always look at GhostBox Radio beyond a radio show. I look at it as a community. And it's really nice that I have people coming up to me at certain events and this weekend a couple of times saying that they thought that we've built a community with GhostBox Radio. This is one way to help us do it. I really appreciate it. If you consider doing so, sending some stars our way, it would be a lot of fun. We also, tomorrow, we're going to have Deb on doing one question readings. And I always want to make sure that people know that you can go to refinedivinepsychic.com. When you go there, you're going to be able to see the classes, the events, everything that Deb has going on. You can get readings, full-on readings. Tomorrow's show is just going to be one question readings, which are very good, and they help a lot of people. And if you think that helps you, imagine what a full reading can do for you. So you really should check that out. Dave, how's the cruise coming? Is it sold out, or is there still room for me on it? What's happening over there?
I think there's, I want to say 15% left. So it's getting there.
Getting there. You got
almost. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't say.
Yeah. I was just stuck on when you talked about the full readings. Deb's been having me come into her galleries lately, and it's been a while since I've been able to do that because I've always been so busy. And I let me tell you, it's a roller coaster. It's amazing. You can feel the reading coming to the person before it even happens. And then she walks right up to them, and the stuff that she's saying and how shocked they act. And it's entertaining as well. When you see that, they're like, oh my God, she would never know that. Like they yell that at each other and the whole room just bursts out in laughter. And it's a good time. People definitely should give that a try if they've never done it. I forgot. It's been so long since I've done it that I forgot how great it is. Like I could do it every day if you let me.
So are you getting messages when Deb is looking at, she wants to focus on one person? Are you getting messages as well?
I think everybody does, really. Like you can feel it. It's like, like we're all connected. So like in one way or another, like a lot of my messages I get through song, all of a sudden it'll be like, I'll get, what is it good for? Different lyrics and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm getting that. But if I sing it to them, then they're like, that was my dad's favorite song, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Right.
Like that's amazing. So everybody in one way or another, we all have like, it's kind of like anything. We all have our different touch on something,
Well, and Deb says yes. I'm thinking she's saying yes that you are getting messages, and
we try to keep that a secret because I like to stay down here. Remember?
Well, it doesn't mean you. I mean, it's not like you're going to break in and start, going rogue and giving people readings like during a gallery or anything. Or will you? Maybe you will. I shouldn't talk for you. I don't know. I mean,
what was it? A couple of years ago, she had me doing channeled writing in the galleries. That was pretty amazing. But it's definitely not for me. because it's just like, for me, it gets too overwhelming. I start to just be like, I buzz too high with it. I don't know what to do with it.
Do you get readings, because like messages, I should say, because sometimes when we do one question readings, I will get messages as well. And my first instinct is, even though I'm a ham, my first instinct is to let's let Deb do, because she's the guest and she's the one that knows what she's doing. Sometimes I have to weigh in because it won't let me go. Do you have anything like that?
I used to. It's a funny you bring that up, because I used to always be right by her, like in front of her when she did her readings. She would be right behind me. And I stopped doing that because I had such a hard time not intervening, like when I would get something more, because literally, I think 10 seconds later, she was already saying what I was getting. But like, you just want to be like, but so like, because I was riding that, and plus we're so connected too, being married and how in love we are. It was like, I would just be like going on that roller coaster with her, and I'm like, and if I'm gonna try and sell stuff, I got to get away from this. So I started doing the other side of the table when she does readings.
The cynic in me, which is it rarely sees his face. The cynic in me, was like when you said, well, I mean, we're close together because we're married. I'm like, that has nothing to do with anything, buddy.
Right.
Mary does not. I mean, but then you said because of how much you both love each other. Okay, I'll give you that.
Right.
But yeah, no, not married. Sorry, no.
Yeah, I always make the joke, especially in public, like because I do a lot of advertising, I'll go, business to business and be advertising. And when someone's talking to me, they're like, "Oh, she's psychic. How psychic is she?" I'm like, "She's going to ask me about you later, even though I won't bring you up. That's how psychic she is." Yeah. And they're just like, "What?"
Yeah, no. So, no, I mean, it's certainly interesting. Now, this past weekend, I had the pleasure of coming out to the Mankato Holistic Fair that you and Deb put on, and it was a lot of fun. That was really, really cool. And I know this is in the past, so it's like, this isn't great advertising because it's, unless you have a time machine, you can't really go. And we're working on it. But I think the thing is, for those who, and I haven't been to one since January, I think. And for those who've wanted to go and they just haven't been able to do so, I mean, it was a great reminder for me as to why you should go and check out your guys's events. And because it was the energy was just very, very wonderful, calm, it was beautiful. And a good amount of people came through. I was just really excited, because we gotta turn this back towards me, of course. I was really excited because, first of all, my table, I had people at my table all day. We were talking paranormal all day, but my event was, my presentation, I should say, was just like, the room was full and there was a lot of chairs in there. When I walked in, it's like, well, we should get about 3 people in here. And there was close to 50 people in there. And I brought the world's smallest speaker to play my recordings on. So that was, once again, just like the start of the show, you almost get the impression I've never done this before sometimes, by the way, that I don't use the right microphones or I bring the wrong equipment to presentations. I don't know. It kind of gets the impression that this is all new to me.
First day on the job.
It's like first day on the job. And it was very.
I think there was upwards of 50 people in there. I was I snapped a few pictures too. I was proud. I loved it so much, seeing that. It's so much fun when you see people enjoying information that you had to give them, like little speaker or not, it's still the information. Like, this is stuff that really helps people understand more of what's going on the other side. And that's why we do this. And I can't even explain enough. I could say it till I'm blue in the face, and I'm sure Deb will say it tomorrow night too. Like, you have not experienced a show like this, because she literally meets everybody before they can even vend at these shows. She has to meet you. And she has to know that you align with the energy. Do we all have bad days? Yes. But you can guarantee that you're not going to have a room full of people that are in competition with each other. They're really there for you to help you heal and to help you find closure, help you find information, help teach you like Greg was doing. It's amazing. Like that's what we live for. And I'm just so proud to be alongside for this ride. And I maybe wore a little thin at times, which is all fake anyways. It's just in my head. I'm just whining. But I really do love doing this. And I can't believe that I get to wake up and do this and be her sidekick, her Robin, basically, to Batman. That's what I always say.
It's interesting. I was telling, because I did an investigation over at the Grand House this weekend, and I was talking to some people about the show in Mankato, and I said, something. A number of people asked me something that I never get asked, and that is, why do I do this? And and it's such a it's not such a straightforward answer, because each paranormal investigator, everyone does their own thing. They have their own reason why for doing it, and there isn't a wrong answer. But it gets you to think, and it's just like you just said, we get to help people, we get to educate people, we get to maybe make people feel good. I had a woman sit down and was wondering about spirit box apps, and we had this conversation, and I know I told you this at the table afterwards, where really all she wanted to know is, do I think that the responses that she's getting trying to reach out to her husband who passed, do I think that they're legit? Do I think that they're real? And that's the sort of thing that is actually very beautiful, because that's what so many of us want, especially if you're not totally into the world like this that you and I and Deb are, where people are just like, I just want to know, is my loved one safe? Are they still carrying on? Is the fact that like a dragonfly was on my screen, does that mean that it was a loved one? Is that a sign? Those are the type of things. And I can imagine over the course of your time doing these, you must have heard a lot of beautiful stories from people who they just want to talk to you, right?
It's beautiful. When people ask those kind of questions, I almost get floaty. I'm so excited, because they're like, I don't want to intrude, but I'm like, no, you're not intruding. I want these questions, because then it opens up so much discovery between the both of us. This is why we're here. And there's so many different things that I've witnessed throughout the years, like from Deb's readings, that I should write a book about it. It'd be a pretty crazy book, but like one lady we had come to an event, for example, and she saw Deb first thing in the morning, and I believe her father had passed away 2 weeks prior, like 3 weeks prior. Mm-hmm. And I had this little really bad I always make sure Deb has waterfalls, because she loves the water when she's channeling, and it was this really bad like Dollar Tree waterfall. No offense, Dollar Tree, but it was $1.25. So but like it was like
no expense spared for your wife. It's very clear. Okay.
I think I broke the other one. You know how I roll. I'm always stuffing the truck.
Yeah.
So
that's the game of Tetris
it barely shot water, it was just like just kind of tiny. Well, all of a sudden the water shot up and sprayed Deb right in the face, and sprayed the lady right in the face. And they're like, what? Like how is this even a thing? The lady almost fell. She was laughing hysterically, because apparently on her father's deathbed, the day that he died, he squirted her with a squirt gun.
Oh, wow.
Right in the face. Yeah, because he carried that humor all the way till the day he died, and he wanted her to remember him that way. I was like, I had to take a walk after that. I was like, this is not even, what is this? It was the coolest thing I've ever witnessed. And literally all of a sudden butterflies were flying around them. And that was her mother's favorite thing, was butterflies. And I was like, okay, I gotta go. It was amazing. But like when you get stuff like that, you're just like, I gotta walk for a minute.
Is that stuff, can that stuff be overwhelming to you?
Yeah, and this is we're talking my first year with her. So like I was really overwhelmed. I was like this, because I know how psychic she is, and I know how much she can bring, because she's channeled my own mother. But like, to actually witness someone else getting that closure at first, it was a hard roller coaster to ride at first, because I was just like, I'd get really flighty about it, because I'm like, what's happening, you know?
Yeah.
But through time, you start to get used to it. And I almost, and what Deb actually taught me is it was me mistaking my excitement for anxiety. Excited, and very happy. And I would use it the wrong way. I think I'm anxious, you know, but.
I see. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And do you think that over time you've gotten used to all this unique stuff, or do you think it's, I mean, I'm sure you're used to it, but do you think it's more of just the overall trust in Deb that you've created? I
don't even think it's about trust. I think it's something new every day. Like we have people sign up for every spiritual retreat, and it's for a reason, because like you're going to learn something new every time you come. It's not the same. She could even teach you the same lesson, but it's going to be taught differently every time because of who else is in the room. It's literally channeled to everybody in the room. So like, even for me being along her side, I never get bored of it. Like she does 2 classes a week and a mentor class a week. And I'm lost when she misses, you know what I mean? Which she don't miss often, but when she misses, I'm like, oh man, what's wrong with me this week? Oh, I didn't take class, you know? So, because we learn from each other, and for her to be able to channel a room like that really helps us all go forward with things. You know, like that lady, we can all put ourselves in that lady's shoes. We've all lost a loved one at one point or another. And it's like, that helps you heal yourself as well, watching that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and two, you know, I could imagine that her students feel the same way if she's not doing a class that they're missing, that they feel like that they might be missing out, you know.
Yeah, and you know when if she doesn't do a class, there's something going on, because she's just as sad, and she misses it so much.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, we fight each other on if we should miss or not, if something's going on in our life. It's kind of funny how we do it.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's because it's, you know, you want to keep, you know, the continuity going, keep the everything, you know, moving and helping people. But I mean, at least, you know, I'm sure there's plenty that people can practice all week, getting ready for the next one. And I have to imagine being on that high energy level, you end up, you know, you do need to take breaks and stuff. You need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, Deb, as well. Everybody, you know, just because it is at such a high frequency. That's
the cool thing about her classes too, is that we have an archive. If you're actually a monthly student, you can go back years and years to all the classes she taught, and she's covered the laws of the universe and all the things, and it's pretty incredible stuff. Manifestation, and you think you know manifestation until you hear it channeled to a room of like 30 different people. Now you're like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, because like different kinds of messages will come when it's a room full of different kinds of people. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Why don't we go ahead and do this? I want to take our next break. When we come back, let's continue the conversation. Anybody, if you have questions for Dave and his journey, and I think it's worthwhile asking some, put them in the comments, please. We'd love to hear them. We'd love to listen to them. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. and she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information. And join me tomorrow on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. We've been talking about it throughout the whole show. Tomorrow is going to be it. We are going to have on Psychic Medium, Refined Divine. Deb will be joining us for one question readings. I'm very excited about it because of all of our different schedules and stuff. This will be the first one in a little while, so get your questions ready. Adam will be in. He'll be able to take calls. We can do it through the comments, all sorts of good things. And for those of you who've done this before, you know it's well worth your time. So please do so. Join us tomorrow. Once again, folks, I want to implore you, if you have not done so, check out refineddivinepsychic.com for classes to get readings. Also, that is where if you do want to, we're getting close to the cruise, but there's still room left. And if you're like, what, this sounds good, because it's not only taking a look at Mexico, but you're getting quite the experience with Deb there with teachings and classes that are going to happen on our way to the location on the ship. I mean, it's going to be so much fun to do so. And please at least check it out, see what's going on, and see if you can make that work. Because the more that these work for everybody, the more that they can happen. So just keep that in mind. Now, our guest tonight is Deb's husband, Dave. We've been talking about his journey tonight. And like I said, folks, if you have questions for him, put it into the comments. I can answer the first question, and that, no, he's not single. Okay, let's just get that right out of the way, folks. But alas, Dave, so far no one has asked any questions. It's very clear no one cares about your life. So
that's all right. Deb's teaching me that I care about my own life. So
well, and she said she says that you do take breaks. I mean, but when you work hard.
Yeah, I saw that she wrote that because people are always honest. Like, when do you rest? It's like, when you enjoy what you do, you are resting. It's like not everybody gets to travel the nation and the world now and do what they love every day. It's like, we are resting. I get to see things that I've never seen before. This is cool. And then we also get to help people while we do it. So yeah, we rest. Like I told you, we slept in a couple days this week. That was nice. Right.
And then, it sounds, because I was one of them that I was like, oh, you guys are always doing something. You're doing classes at night and stuff. But Deb had said to me as well, she's like, no, there's a lot of time. There's a lot of time that we're resting and stuff. But I figure you both have everything down to a bit of a science. If judging by how you load your truck, that alone is that you should receive some award for industry with that. I don't know. It's just
people are always so amazed. That's one of my most asked questions when we get like new vendors or new customers will see me loading it up or unloading it. They're like, that all was in there? You got a trailer, right? No. It becomes a science. It's becoming such a science now that even the people that help us are getting to know how to do it well. it's kind of cool. Dave doesn't have to work it quite so hard.
I mean, that's the only thing that keeps me when I'm at one of these things and knowing darn well I should probably offer to help and I don't, and just kind of like, oh, but I shouldn't because Dave has his own.
There's a lot of people that they get anxiety almost to want to help because they're like, I feel like I'll mess that up.
It's quite real. I mean, it's yeah.
It's kind of like looking at someone else's Tetris game and being like, I'll take over. You don't do that.
no, this is
this
is quite the architecture that you've put into it. Now, as far as your own journey, and this is kind of a kind of a, I don't know if it's a great question because I think I know your answer, but is there like is there an area you want to attain as far as like a gift, or is there something that you're hoping someday that you will be able to do very well that's, linked psychically, or, that you're learning something now and you're hoping to make that a stronger gift for you?
I think the biggest thing that I'm attempting to get rid of is my control of things. Because when we get rid of the control, then that's when a lot of miracles start to happen. Yeah. And I've been a very controlling person. Like I need things a certain way just to make it work out in my brain. I think it's working out when really it actually makes it crazier when you have to have it a certain way. But if I let go of that control, then whatever comes will just come. Like I shouldn't I don't want to have the expectation of it. I've learned a lot of that through the classes and the retreats and even our fairs, that controlling only makes more controlling circumstances come your way. So I just kind of am learning to be free to whatever comes my way. Like I already know what I'm good at, but if something were to spark in, then it does. If it don't, it don't. Letting go of that expectation of it basically is how I feel about it. I've seen her do many mentorees and they come in thinking that they're going to be, a massage therapist or a Reiki healer. And before you know it, they're a psychic medium, or someone come in wanting to be a psychic medium. Before you know it, they're the best card reader you've ever seen in your life. Mm-hmm. Things like, if you let go of control, you're going to get rid of that miracle that actually could happen. You got to just let it go. And I don't do that well. So, and I'm actively doing it daily.
I think it has to be a fine line with you, obsessively running a business that, that the control is necessary to a certain degree. Right. Otherwise there could be chaos. Funny.
It's funny you brought that up because I did just go through a patch where I let go to the point where I was not keeping track of things properly. And when you do the book work, that's not a good thing. Like I was keeping track, but I wasn't plugging it in right away. All the things, so therefore you're talking 12-hour days trying to get it going because now I pushed it aside until the last minute type thing. Yeah. So there's a fine line you can walk. Like Deb always says, everybody's got to have a Dave. I can't go if I go too far with it. Am I going to be able to do those things? But also that's also a control thing too. Maybe if that were to happen, we find somebody else that can do it for us. So you just got to be open to any possibility. But yeah, I did go. You can go too far is the point I'm making. It's like I got to ring this in a little bit because we don't have somebody doing that. I'm doing that, that kind of thing.
Do you think also like control can also just like kind of just even being like you can still be in control of like, want certain things to happen, say at an event, but if something doesn't go the way that you want, that it's, right. It should be, more of like, there's nothing I can do about it. Not worth getting angry over, not worth, like
this summer season that we had, because we broke away from other people that we were traveling with because she was a full-time, the number one for other people instead of now we're doing it on our own. And breaking away on your own was a hard thing to do because we helped other people build what they have. So now we got to start fresh again. So that taught me a lot of what you were covering there, because the summertime, I really went through those valleys where I was like, are we doing the right thing? Is this right? Is this that? And And it was always funny because when I would get at my worst about it, because we invested a lot in it too. There is a financial part of it, sadly. But when I get at my worst is when we get the most messages from people saying, that was the best show I've ever been to, and I can't believe how loving everybody was, and this and that. It keeps you understanding why you're in it, and that also helped me get rid of that control thing too, that was always nagging at me, because just let it happen. What's the worst can happen? I'm still breathing. You know what I mean? Like we can't dwell too much on things, because then the big miracles won't happen if you dwell on them like that.
Absolutely. I was thinking, we get new radio show hosts here for different weekend shows, or maybe they're doing a new daily show. Excuse me. And, it's interesting. And I think we all have to go through this at some point, but, some of them get so nervous about making a mistake. And, like what happened at the beginning of the show where I'm using the wrong microphone.
Right.
You could let that shut you down and finish your night, or you could just be like, well, I'm an amateur and let's move on. I mean, it's just right. You just got to embrace it, because I think because one of the things we've been talking about here all night is letting go, right? Letting go of that stuff that eats away at us when no one else, probably most people who are listening probably forgot all about that until I brought it up again. It's like it doesn't matter.
And that's the great thing about it too. That's what I was talking about with those big miracles. You know how many people probably looked at it and been like, wow, these guys are real people. What's going on here? Like they weren't, we were not robotic about it. We weren't mad about what was happening. And they're like, oh, I'm kind of interested. They're coming from the heart. And if you just stay true to who you are as a person, like you said, you made fun of it because you and I are a lot alike like that. I'll just make fun of myself too. And if I don't, Debbie will do it for me. then you can just roll with it and have fun with it. And people actually appreciate that more. And I'm starting to embrace it more, being that guy in Refined Divine, because it's kind of fun that people can relate to me so much. Like I stopped to look the other day and I'm like, wow, like people started to say that I'm like that bridge, like, oh, we can relate to him. It makes her less intimidating. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, okay, you're welcome. This is awesome. I love that. Just be your own goofy self.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just it. And there's, there are things that need to be taken, seriously, but there's things that are, you're able to just be a little bit light about and whatever. And it's, like I've been to a number of your shows and I've seen it with you a number of times where there is a time where it's like, now I'm focused. Now I got to get some stuff done here. I got to load this ridiculously, big truck with, 500,000 pieces of whatever that you all carry around with you everywhere.
That was the crazy thing too, with the people too. I found myself when we started the shows on our own, because we always did some shows on our own, but we never fully did it, and now we're full time. And I would go around the room and have to make sure every vendor's happy and like, how's your day going? And basically I was giving away we talked about that mid show. I was giving away my energy. I was being a people pleaser. Like it doesn't affect me how their day's going. I don't need to be their mom or dad. And, it's like, and now that I've started to let that go, I'm finding that they're coming to me and telling me how their day's going. And I'm like, well, that's sweet. Like I don't have to ask you and just be that pleaser in your life. Now we can just flow together. It's like one little wave going through the room, and that's when the magic really happens, when you let go of stuff like that.
Yeah, you certainly did not ask me how my day was going. You did not. Yeah,
but you told me how your day was going, though, right?
I figured you're never going to come around. I mean, you sent me at the farthest possible way from you, and
that was Deb. She was making sure we stayed to work. Otherwise, we'd be doing this all day.
I had people just constantly around my table, and it's so funny because the vendor who was behind me, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. There was times because I was playing some stuff and explaining some stuff, and I had about 3 people at the table. I felt something behind me, and she was leaning in to listen to what I had to say. So I thought,
cool,
okay,
man.
yeah, that was really cool. I thought I'll make a makeshift stage and see where I'm going. And yeah, no, Deb's like, we put you at the front door. Yes, you did. It was great. It was great. My massive banner that kind of hides everyone else behind me. It's just great. It's just that's how I like it. It's like, yeah, there's no one else here. It's just me. So
that's something that I've always noticed with Deb too. It's amazing to watch that by the end of the day, most of the vendors want to get on her list too. And most of the other readers want to get on our list too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you know you're doing it right. If people are noticing you and wanting to know what you have. And that's how we learn from each other, you know, like, well, what's going on with that? You know, and that's why you do shows like this, because you want to spread that awareness with things like that. It's pretty cool watching it.
We have about 30 seconds left. The show's already over. Where are you this weekend?
We are in Davenport, Iowa and Dubuque, Iowa, back-to-back days.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
And go to Psychic Medium Refined Divine on Facebook. I find that's a great place to keep up with your events like those. But don't forget also refinedivinepsychic.com. And I mean, other than that, I mean, join everyone tomorrow, right? And do some one question reading.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. It'll be a blast.
Yeah. Don't sound so excited over there. My God. Holy cow, man. Is it past your bedtime, Grandpa? My God.
Actually, I'm the night person in the group. So it should be the other way around.
Everyone, join us tomorrow for one question readings with Deb. Dave, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun catching up with you.
I had a blast. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow with Refined Divine. Everyone, have a fantastic evening.